No hobbies, only obsessions. Too many collectors let influencers rob them just to say they did a deal with them. Speak on this.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
That's 1,000%
It's not
true.
even
Right?
you just want you just want that post to be like, oh, I did a deal with I don't with FD. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Well,
see that.
I'll say this though. I said this yesterday. I think when we go in and we start negotiating with people, it's a straight up negotiation, right? I'm never using like I don't use anything, man, other
Yeah, I don't
than
use the other thing either.
I don't get down with that.
Yeah, I don't even got anything. I'm just saying like people be like, oh, you're JD. I'm like, I don't care. I'm JD. I'm Jeremy De La Rosa. Yeah, I am, but that don't mean I'm nobody. I'm still like I don't
You should
care.
leave
Like
this up here for a while. I should
yeah,
just leave that up there for a while.
I don't I don't
That's 1,000% the truth,
I
man.
don't care, man. Like I don't care. You treat everybody the same just because you want a little attention. You get that. Oh yeah, thanks for doing a deal with me. And knowing damn well you probably got a. I don't like saying this word, but you got cooked out of the deal. So it's just. But it's just one of those things like, oh, you want to make this deal? I'll put you on my video. Like, nah, I'm okay.
I
Like,
can't mess with it, man.
be fair with it.
Hmm.
But I mean, people. I see it firsthand all the time, and I get so mad. I'm like, why are you guys doing that? But it's just conversations where people don't feel comfortable talking. It's just like, I feel like it was a good deal for who? For him or for her? Not for you. But you feel you want to. They use that their power or influence as leverage, and sometimes that's not fair for everybody else. Because guess what? They're gonna you sold that car for $50 and it's worth 100. They're gonna flip that for double, and you know what I mean. And then they're gonna be on their YouTube saying or whatever that, oh, I bought this car at X amount. This is how I did it. And then that gets a bit more power to like, oh yeah, this guy's doing what he's doing. So it's stuff like that. But I mean, do what you gotta
Yeah,
do.
you know, each one take it, seriously with their own perspective. When you're out and you're talking to people, uh, when I'm out and I'm talking to people, JD, we'll take our premise and what we do and show people what we do.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
and people came up to me today. A few of them. They said, "Man, I'm surprised you're not like doing this and that and blah blah blah." I'm like, that's not how I roll. Like I like to just be me. Like I'm not, I don't do all that extracurricular activities when I'm at shows. Like I'm just doing me. I'm not. I see all the other YouTubers and all of these other people doing what they do. I mean, that's them. They got to do their. That's their
yeah, that's
game.
what I say, right?
Yeah,
Everybody has their own rhythm in life in general.
yeah,
Part of the way I do stuff is different than how other people do stuff, and vice versa. So it is
yeah.
just about what do I do and what do I want to portray. People talk about their brands, but I feel like I had a brand since 1975 when I was born. No, I'm serious, man. I'm serious.
No, I agree, man. Your brand.
I come from a household, man, where people did not play games, bro. My
Hmm.
parents did not play games. So I could be at one point, man. I was ranked really high academically in my school, in my class, right?
Hmm.
My father and mother still challenged me. What was I doing athletically? When I got athletically the bomb, when I did better at that, people were talking about, okay, what universities are you applying to, and why do you want to do that? My parents were big on what decisions are you making and why, right? So that was my brand way back in the day, man.
Yeah.
When I walked around school, when I talked to teachers and professors, when I got a job and started working, who am I at work, man? What am I doing?
Yeah,
And it's
and
the same way when we come on here and start talking
mhm.
about stuff, going to shows. And when I go to a show, man, I talk to J Mike about that. I represent my household, man. I'm representing my son Junior. I'm representing G. I'm representing everybody that's in my household. I'm representing my parents. When
Damn.
I'm talking to someone on a car deal, man, these are the things that go to my mind. I'm representing my grandma who taught me some things about how to conduct myself. My great aunts. These are all the people that's riding with me, bro. So when we talk about brands, to me it's bigger. It's embedded since a long time ago of how do I conduct myself and how do I get down. I don't care if there's a camera on or if there's a camera off. I'm conducting myself a certain way.
Mhm.
If I go to dinner with someone, I'm sitting down. I'm gonna have no Roller with FD gear on. I'm conducting myself a certain way.
No, I agree. And for me, where I'm at my career, and where I work at, your brand is the biggest thing you have. Your word is what you only got. And I'm lucky enough, that I have a few like mentors with me, and they're just showing me the way. And you too, like you're showing me this, be true to yourself, and everything's gonna fall in line.
Yeah.
And that's 100%. Trust me, girl. Like, especially because where I'm at my job, I'm in management, so I'm always being looked at. I'm always being, pick, 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 pick. So I already have just same mentality coming to when we do this, the hobby stuff. So I 100% agree. Your brand is everything. Yeah, people say crazy things about you, but as long as you stay true to who you are, and you're gonna be good. And I 100% agree what you're saying. And and I wish I knew that when I was like 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. There's a lot of that's why all these young kids, like younger people coming up, it's always good to have somebody. I'm not saying you're old, FD, okay? I'm just saying like the
You can
wisdom,
say I'm old. I'm good with
but
that.
but
I don't
is
have
the
problem.
wisdom that you provide. Like my one of my best friends, he's my coworker, but I consider him like a good father figure to me because he's older and everything. Just the game that he's giving me, he's like, I'm telling you all this because I don't want you to go through it. And you gotta,
That's
and
what I
it's
tell
either
people all the time. I give
yeah,
advice to people.
mhm,
I try to tell things to my own children because I just
yeah,
don't want them to go through. I'm trying to give them the cliff notes to life.
yeah. And when he told me that, he always is my this is my favorite line. He always told me, and I took this to heart. He said, "A closed mouth don't get fed." And when he said that, I was like, man, that's it. That's all I needed to hear because I was so not shy or anything, but I was just to myself, right? I always want to, So when he told me that, I was like, man, you know what? That's something I'm gonna live by forever because it's 100% true. You have all these ideas and you want to do all these things, but if you don't got the voice or you don't have to stand up for what you believe in, you're just gonna be sitting there forever wondering what if. So yeah, I trust me. I what you just said is like 100% agree. one Hundred
Mhm.
percent agree.
Michael Thomas, I'm a fan of dealers that put their asking price on the car in their display. Unlike people that put cars in their case and you ask how much and they say, let's look at comps, know your prices. Yeah, well, I I'll tell you this. If I come to your table multiple times and we're going through this, Mr. Thomas,
Hmm.
it just says something. But if I come to your table and you're talking like JD just said, I got the comp on there, I got the price on there, we can talk through anything. All information is available to you. I'm ready to have a conversation. I'm greeting you. I'm shaking your hand, ma'am, sir, whoever it may be. I'm coming to that table probably more often. There are people now that when I hit a show, I'm going straight to their table first.
Yeah.
And it's because they're lying as an expression, they're lined out. Everything that needs to be known about a car, every conversation that needs to take place, they're going to do it. And then if they need to check a comp on the price or whatever, it's rare. We all understand there are things that happen, but they're right back to me. I can walk a few tables, come back, they're right back to me. We're back in the conversation. And I
Yeah.
respect that.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree.
Chance, there's an old school Asian style, your face and last name, don't mess it up.
That's
That's right.
true.
That's right, Chance.
That's true.
My father used to always joke with me and say, "All you got is your rep."
Yeah, that's all you
When
got is
people
your
mention
name.
your name and talk about you when you're not around, what are they saying?
Whew. Yeah,
What are they saying, people?
it's deeper
And
than
that's
that.
this is way beyond cars. We're talking about
Yeah, it's
bank
deeper than
principles,
that.
right?
There's a
Mhm.
lot of false accusation. How many people just saying crazy things about you, and you're just sitting there like, man, that ain't me. But if you portray yourself like that way, then yeah, people are gonna think like that. So you got to hold yourself at a standard where you will want to be considered.
I even talked about my son, like Junior, right?
Mm-hmm.
Junior was asking me for a long time, "Hey, Dad, when can I come to a show? When I come to the show?" G and I roll. When can I come to a show? And I sat him down and talked about you got to conduct yourself a certain way. What is your behavior like? What is your behavior like at home? What's your behavior going to be like outside? So we went to the car stock show. I'm talking to him in the show, but in the car before we get there, and he knew it was serious. So he comes in. He met you, JD,
Yeah, yeah, I remember. I remember.
and EJ. He
I
met
met
certain.
everybody.
He
Yeah,
conducts himself a certain way. And I want to bring him down. I want to bring him to Burbank when Burbank happens. We're prepping him for that. I wanted to bring him to Delmar, but that might be a lot for him in 3 days.
man,
But
that's
he would. I want him to be at Burbank, and I want him to meet people. But we had to. It had to be some teaching moments, right? JD, he can't come up to your table and start picking up cards.
man. But see, that's why I'm so excited to be a father. You know, like this stuff, these conversations is like, yeah, like that's why I'm saying like all these young kids and just being a father, it's always good to have somebody like has a lot of wisdom and knowledge because they'll be able to guide you to the right way. And I'm telling you, man, like you're 100% right. Because as a father, it's hard. You're making decisions, you're making mistakes that you try not to make at this stage, right? You try to be perfect on everything. So it's pretty cool. You're hearing you talk about that because that's the same way I want to do portray with my daughters as well. How you
You know,
conduct.
beyond my parents, that we used to go to the summers in Mississippi from Chicago, and we would stay
Mhm.
the whole summer. And there were three women that kind of talked to me a lot: Thelma, Alberta, and Alice. And Alice was my grandmother. And I want to give a shout out to them. Right, they used to talk to me about a bunch of stuff. And you're talking about futuristic thinking. Like Thelma Griffith would tell me about what I was going to be doing when I got grown, how I need to carry myself, how I should pronunciate words, how I should talk to people. And every time I'm out of the show, man, or anywhere really, I think about her because everything she said was 1,000% the truth.
Mhm.
She was the first African American in the state of Mississippi to get a master's in education. And she used
Oh
to break
wow.
stuff down to me on a regular basis. I'd be in the car with her. I go to her house and in the kitchen cooking or just whatever. She would educate me on stuff. So that's like, and I think we forget as people, right? When we meet people and we're teaching people things and also getting taught things, that's how we transfer information from generation to generation. These were people way back. You know, I used to go to Mississippi, man, and talk to a bunch of people. I'm like five guys that men that are like 80, 85, breaking stuff down to me about life. And I remember all that stuff. It was important to me. So now that when it's kind of a rolled up thing, right? I may be
No,
in
I
my
agree.
40s, but I got knowledge, man, from probably 100 years ago.
And that's the biggest thing too,
That's a big
man.
thing, man.
That's so cool. Like I'm telling you, there's so much stuff like I want to pass down to my kids. And just hearing you talk about it reminds me of my coworker, Mr. I call him Mr. Brown, but it's just cool. It's always cool to hear these things because it opens up another level of thinking.
Yeah. Bought lessons versus taught lessons. The latter is always cheaper. The
Yeah.
Reverend Rips. Yeah. Our name is our brand. Once you prove you're not who you are portray, I'm skeptical about everything. At that point, I question just about everything, either with a question or in my mind.
I told my daughter that the
I just
same.
go into listening mode.
Mhm. Question everything. But yeah, damn, this was a good one. The FD man, I appreciate this one.
Oh
Even
yeah,
though,
it's a good
even
conversation.
even though I'm a co-host, I appreciate this one. The last few minutes was really good.
Oh yeah.